Bum.
There must be a high love. I don't think I should have done that in chest voice.
That was a high key. This is one of the times where you should have not done that in the original key. But you wanted to.
Now it must be. Think about it. There must be a high love. Love is blind. Love is blind. It's reality gaze presenting. Love is blind. Yeah.
Who sang that original song? I forget it.
What?
I forget. I'm blanking. Who sang that?
Whitney Houston.
No, who sang it? She did a remake of it. Did somebody else sing it?
No.
Break me a higher.
That was Whitney Houston, bitch.
No, I know that was Whitney Houston, but isn't that a cover of that song? Didn't somebody
It's
sing
a
it before
remix.
her?
It's a remix of her version of Higher Love.
It's so good.
But it's the Kygo remix. I think it's Kygo. Kiko.
But didn't somebody else sing? Didn't a band sing "Break Me a High"? Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought somebody sang it before. But
Steve Winwood.
when I tell you,
Steve Winwood.
they played the first chords of this song, and I went, "They're not. They're not."
Yeah, Steve Winwood. That's a really high key.
Yeah, but I'm singing in my falsetto.
Don't ever do that. The dog in the front is barking. We're back. Season 6 is back.
They knew
Higher Love.
They knew how to get gay people excited.
They spent $88,000 on that song.
Y'all, we're in a new era of Love is Blind because they just spent, apparently after that fucking, who knew that Dancing in the Rain or I Hope You Dance would break the break the mold. Break the mold.
I think
Because they had Leanne Womack.
I think they broke the hymen. Yes, of them paying for music.
I saw this performed on Dancing with the Stars when Ariana Madix was on there, when they did Whitney Night, when I met David Archuleta.
Do you know who she is now? You still didn't know. You still fumbled her name.
I did.
Yeah, you got to do better.
My friend's on the New Valley one. My friend Jason, he's hot.
Thanks for name dropping.
Well, he's on a reality show. I'm not name dropping. Yeah, you'll see. You'll see when we meet him one day. We're out and about, and you just pawn over him. Kind of like
I pawed, not pawn over him.
That's what I said.
You combine pawed and fawn.
You've overstimulated me with Whitney. I cannot be held accountable.
Yo, Love is Blind, season 6. Season 6, Higher Love, episode 1.
Okay, I'm done.
God.
I'm done. Sorry, you were talking. Season 6, episode 1.
What are our what do we think? Both of us said, by the way, if you're listening to this, it may be out now.
Yeah, I think we could say it unless they canceled it. Which could have happened to us.
Yeah. We were interviewed by a reporter for the Wall Street Journal to talk about this show, Love is Blind, and they
were wonderful, and we had a great conversation. I think they said it's dropping after the first episode.
I only said fuck 3 times, and insinuated. I think I did say I rarely ever see most of the people I sleep with what they look like.
It's true. And I did make a glory hole reference.
Yeah.
So, we were ourselves.
You did say glory hole.
I did say glory hole to a Wall Street journalist.
I think she's called a Wall Street Journal reporter, not journalist.
I know, but I wanted to it's kind of nice if you're what do you do? Well, I'm a Wall Street journalist. It just works.
That would mean you work on Wall Street.
Yeah, it's not clear. Yeah. Anyway, we were very excited by that, and it's because this is the show that you're all just get into it. Just
don't fight it.
Don't fight it. Just relax. It's gonna happen. You can't fight it. It's Love is Blind.
First impressions.
I don't think we've had a first episode that left me so gagged and gooped and I'm going to piss myself. So my first impression is, are we going to go on a motherfucking ride this season?
I'm cautiously optimistic because I feel like there are more people here than I'm worried about a repeat of season 5. That's what I'm mostly worried about. And I think that the thing that happened at the end kind of threw us to
So for people new, when you say repeat of season 5, what do you mean? If people that are new to our Love is Blind episodes.
Where have you been?
Well, we might have new people.
Are you new?
Are you new?
I mean the kind of the revelations, quick revelations that have happened, but while they're trying to build up a certain couple and making your stomach drop through, or to create a big moment.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know. I'm going to say that moment with Matthew at the end, I feel like you asked those guys, 90% of them would have probably used the same lines on the same girls.
See, it maybe, but the fact that
He said it to a
and it
woman
was
who we don't even know.
the specificity of it. It was the exact same language.
It was very specific, and it sounded very original.
Because when he did it, I actually feel like maybe
No, I got teary, and I was hoodwinked.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. This might be a reality gaze first. It shows you that I'm in a different place in my life. I thought he was love bombing her, and it weirded me out.
Wow.
Maybe I'm finally learning a little bit. Maybe I did make out with a basketball player this weekend, so probably not. I thought it was so. It felt so performative to me, and it really felt like love bombing.
He never said love, though.
But it still felt like it felt a lot of like fucking Future. I'll take you on this journey. I'll take you out now. We'll go live these dreams, and you can ride the magic horse. Oh yeah, turn on Reba McEntire.
Okay. But what point, especially in the first episode, do we push aside cynicism and go, because this show is all about that kind of future fairy tale stuff.
I don't trust Matthew.
I don't either.
So that's why I think that, because I just don't trust him, because there's something off with the guy already to me.
I agreed, and then I thought there was a misdirection.
And that's true as well in the editing. But yeah, that's true in that. But I
trust what I know in that they're trying to create something so it will surprise us later, and someone gets a redemption at it.
Well, basically,
that's what I'm trusting.
You are Love is Blinded. And when you get Love is Blinded, and they basically play with our emotions, and that's part of this kind of almost the fun and maybe the masochism of this show, where we don't know how they're going to rip out our heart and get us our hopes up and then completely just devastate us. So I think you're right to be gun shy about it. Because who the fuck knows? Because when they show him off by himself, when the other guys are celebrating and talking, and he's kind of this loner, that's odd for me.
Right, but they're showing you that so it'll turn around later.
Yeah.
That's
that could be a false narrative.
Yeah. Do I think, from just what he was saying to her, did they? Because she can't pick fucking Clay now.
No.
After what she said, we're getting into it.
We're getting into it.
But I said first impressions.
Yeah.
What else? Any? I think these are. We're going the route of even more normies.
They don't seem a lot of influencers. That's true. Yeah, I agree.
I think this is. Some of the women feel a little influencer to me.
Mm-hmm.
The guys that we saw, there were some, as Dylan and Pat say, barbecue friends.
Yes.
There were some barbecue friends that felt a little influencery for me, for the guys. Mm-hmm. I didn't think the guys gave me that kind of vibe. Clay, a little.
I don't think so. But yeah, Clay's He's a tool, I think. A fuck boy.
He's fuck
He's
boy.
a fuck boy.
fuck
So
boy.
yeah, and y'all, when have we ever seen a fuck boy change his spots? Have we ever?
They don't change.
Boy, there's her cynicism. There she's
Well,
back.
what was interesting is he was getting there. We'll talk about it. And then he asked that it was full on. Could I lift you over my head to the music
Save it!
festival? We're in the podcast.
That's true. I know. I just want to. I just like to yell that at you.
Y'all, Vanessa Lachey and Nick Lachey are unfortunately back. She is
I
wearing.
don't mind them.
She is wearing a dress.
I like her.
That is the color is hideous.
The dress doesn't fit her well.
Also,
He looks fine.
she needs to be about 4 shades darker in skin to wear that well. The
Yeah,
color
it's a really
is like that would be really look good on a black woman.
Yeah.
And it's just doesn't look good. The dress doesn't fit her. He's been a little more refreshed since the last time we saw him.
I bet their faces look. I don't know that we're split on that.
I need to say, yes, Trevor has a mullet, but there's something else going on. It's the blunt cut of the hair that makes it feel like both a like Little Abner and a hipster guy in like Brooklyn.
He gives me. I was a nerd, and then I started working out and got hot, and so I'm trying to be cool, but I'm a nerd guy vibes.
Which can be good. I don't dislike him.
No, I like him.
I think he was funny.
He's so far that we saw. He's my
Yeah.
favorite guy.
Wow, you said he's my favorite guy, and I went, I had to think because
I mean, I don't mind. I don't fully mind, but again, let's just start talking about the show. So, he says that women judge them. We kind of get the initial, they come in, y'all, we don't care about that. They're coming in, you're meet forever, and then will you walk away forever? In 4 weeks, you're getting married.
Trevor
Blah, blah,
says
blah.
his way of talking. People judge me on my mullet or my muscles. They think I'm a low IQ meathead.
They do
Put
think
a pin in that.
And that Jessica starts crying because she has a child, y'all. She's gonna cry about that child
Is
a lot.
this the first person who has a child that we've seen
that we talked
that has been in the pods?
I think so, yeah.
That's interesting.
I do love that Jessica says, because some people take this as context. She said, I'm not telling them at first that I have a child because I want them to get to know me. She said, because yes, that's the most important thing in my life, but having a child, being a mother isn't the only thing that defines me.
Let's talk about this because this is interesting. Mm-hmm. I think I would want to know this on the second date.
The
child.
I'm of two minds. The one part of me says I could wait till like maybe third date, maybe fourth date, because you do want to get to know someone. However,
but when does it feel like you're surprising it on him?
But it's not so much that they're surprising on me. It is people that are usually parents talk about their children so much.
Yeah.
It would seem like you have to actively avoid conversation normally to not talk about your kid. So I feel like second date would be a great time to do that.
And I feel like, to me, it's why Jimmy kind of freaked out when he did that, because it felt like something she was really hiding from him. To me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious to what you guys think. To me, his response was so like that's exactly how someone would have responded.
Well, they also talk. They're going to talk. We'll talk about that later. But
yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself.
They do say like if you had a warning label, and Poodle, I want to know if you had a warning label, what would it say?
Don't get me wet like Gremlins.
Wow, that was disgusting. Wow. Wow. I'm just gonna keep moving on.
Not
now.
sold, or only, or what would it be? Not set for individual sale. Let's talk about Trevor and Chelsea, who are both 30.
His dog's name is Chelsea.
My dog's name is Chelsea.
And
she's like, my dog's name is Trevor.
and which is a joke, but she's very funny and quick.
I like her.
She asked him 5 things that make you smile, and he says, dogs.
I do it the way. Dogs, a very sunny day, butterflies, a good love movie, like The Notebook or A Walk to Remember, and a fresh cut lawn. He sounds like a meathead, though. He's not doing himself any favors.
He's not.
Although I don't think he is.
I don't think so either. I agree with him, though. I love a fresh cut lawn.
Not if I have to mow it.
It's very satisfying to mow. I enjoyed mowing the lawn. I wouldn't want to do it all the time, though, on a weekly basis now that I'm an adult with life. But as a kid, I didn't mind it.
It was hot.
It was hot.
Do it.
It was hot.
I had to mow my grandmother's lawn. It was a big lawn.
It's a good thing a kid.
Did you use a push mower?
For my grandma's, I did. Ours, we were like on 2 acres, so it was riding. But for my grandmother's, yeah.
Didn't love it.
And she would sit out there and point at me to do stuff and then start pulling her weeds. And she just, should only take me about 45 minutes ended up being like a 4-hour affair.
Is this the one who got thrown by the tornado?
Yeah, but she made me meatloaf and macaroni and cheese and Dr. Pepper. So she always made me lunch.
So food is a reward.
Yes, that's what we learned in our family.
Yeah.
Stop it, iPad.
She loved a sunset and a Coors Light.
And no, it's very specific.
A cold Coors Light.
Y'all, because a Coors Light is gross. But a cold Coors Light on a Sunday day is pretty fucking wonderful.
I kind of agree with you. And he said, wasn't Gandhi this and that? That was funny.
They were funny. I like them. And so she's a flight attendant. She wants to travel. We see that. We find that out later. And she's like, this is nice because usually I'm on dates. There's a TV behind me and guys are just looking at sports.
So y'all, like the French movie La Ronde, we are now having one person from each one. We go to a challenge. We go to. Have you ever? It's a great movie.
Y'all, he even quoted in the Wall Street Journal article.
It is. It is because I want to talk about it. The way they're doing this is so you can get to know the contestants, and it's a smart way. So they take one from the pair who you just met.
Haven't they done this before?
They did it last season. They've done it before, but nothing to this degree.
Yeah.
They're really concentrating on it.
It's like one of those Gwyneth Paltrow movies where everybody knows it's connected to one another, and then she dies. Oh wait, that was Contagion. Different type of contagion.
It's La Ronde, where you have the woman goes with the husband. She goes to see her affair, and then he goes to see his wife, and the wife goes to see someone else. And then you just
It's like a circle jerk. Everybody gets to everybody.
No, a circle jerk would be you can switch dicks though in a circle jerk.
Yeah.
This
I guess you
is
don't come
literally
like dominoes.
Yeah.
It's like dominoes.
I don't think there's a gay compare. It's daisy
not.
chain.
Okay. There we go.
There you go.
If you don't know what a daisy chain is, you can Google that at work.
Ask Uncle Google.
That's good. Don't do it at work.
Chelsea and Jimmy.
Now, Chelsea does say she's from L.A., she said, right?
Yeah.
So she's in L.A., and Jimmy, he does software sales. And
Small town named Randleman.
He wants to go to every single stadium and watch sports. My brother wants to do that. I think that's sweet.
That's kind of travel.
I think it's sweet.
This guy is exactly who I grew up with.
Where are they this time?
Charlotte.
Oh, they're in Charlotte. Okay. So they're in North Carolina.
This guy, y'all, so many boys that I grew up are just like this.
Oh, I bet.
Soft-spoken. They kind of talk like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a homebody, but he likes cocktail bars and be back by 9:30 p.m. And Jessica likes that because she didn't say it because she's got a 10-year-old at home. But she goes,
no, we're on Chelsea, but not to Jimmy.
Oh, there's a little bit of Jimmy and Jessica. Sorry. Go ahead.
And y'all, Like, so I'll take all your suggestions and get married, and there are only a couple of songs and things that I want. As long as I have a spittoon, ding, we're fine.
We're fine.
Jimmy and Jessica, who has the 10-year-old daughter, who's 28. And that's when you were just talking about it. She has the homebody. And I liked it when she's like, what are you? And he's like, I'm a Scorpio. And he's like, I'm a Capricorn. He's like, I don't know what that means, so it sounds good to me.
Sounds good. Because he actually says first, he's like, well, then we're a good match. I don't really know what that means. I thought that was funny.
I think
I do like him too.
I do too. I think these are these people seem a lot more unassuming than people we've had.
They're giving us y'all. They're leading us into the shallow before they jump us into
Maybe.
the deep end.
Boy, someone's really cynical.
Well, he always we got so invested last
Yeah.
year. We thought everybody was going to get married last year.
Did we?
We always do.
I never remember that.
We think there's a couple that are going to, and we're always wrong.
Anyway, so he's like, your voice is nice. Never inculcated my voice.
Yeah, I don't think she has. She does not have a
You
pleasant
need to hold that in your heart because this is the only time.
The only person. Hold that in your heart.
Hold that in your heart. And she's like, manifest. There's something about her that rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what it is.
I think she's the one person so far we met that seems she wants to be
It's
an
influencery.
influencer.
Yeah, that's it.
I agree.
Yeah. So now we brought him up before. Jessica and Nettie, who is 36, substantially older than some of the people who we have met. Mm-hmm. He has his 15 questions, y'all.
He's a financial planner.
Which tells you everything about his personality.
Yes. And
no, not a financial planner. He's in wealth management.
Well, yeah.
Which is even more. But y'all, that's helping rich people avoid taxes.
This guy, just the fact that he shuts down and can't talk to anybody at this age of 36 years old, because he's talking to Jessica and he says, what's something you like to access it, or something, what's a part of you like to access in relationships? And she answers and just says naturally, what about you? And Matthew says, well, I thought I'd be asking the question.
I didn't think I needed to answer.
And he gets up and leaves and freaks out.
That's with Sarah Ann, I believe, isn't it?
He did it with two people.
Oh, wow.
He left with two different people.
So, question. He says
it's Sarah Ann that gets up and she's just talking and talking and talking.
Sarah Ann is a talker.
But still.
Sarah Ann!
That fact that, y'all, this guy, I don't know. Like, when he did that, I went, oh, this guy doesn't have, empathy.
I thought he was the Andrew of this season. That's with the eye drops?
No, yeah. But Andrew was like, this guy, it's like, I mean, we find out later that he's going to therapy and he's so you want to believe that he's changing, but boy, he's got a long way to go.
Well, the thing is, I think a lot of this was the edit.
I want to believe you. I want to, but I just don't know anymore with this show.
I think he's
so nervous when I watch
think
this
he's
show.
in it for the long haul. I guarantee you, he gets in a couple.
Well, I hope he doesn't get. I hope he doesn't get in a couple and kill her.
And I think he's in a couple with AD. Yeah.
I think you're probably right. But yeah, he creeps me out.
I was creeped out at the beginning. And then some of that, because camera was on him, but I think he's super socially awkward, which you could see. It's hard for socially awkward people to be good actors. And so I think what we saw, you thought it was fake vulnerability. Mm-hmm. I think that was vulnerability for him in that last scene. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I think he believed it was vulnerability, but it was fake.
But isn't that vulnerability?
No, not when you can give the same vulnerability to two people, word for word. That's not vulnerability.
I see what you're saying.
But I think he believed it for both of them.
I see.
I think he's a damaged person that just wants someone to love him for his damaged self. I think he's one of those people.
Whoa.
But maybe I'm wrong.
I'm glad we're 17 minutes in. What are you gonna say when he's standing? He's standing across from the person. I need to record this.
We are recording. Are we recording? Yeah.
I'm gonna, boy.
I hope I'm wrong.
No. I'm saying this because of the edit.
Yeah.
And we've seen edits go this way.
I know. I just don't want to always. It's hard with this. I don't want to blame it on the edit. I want to take it for what they're giving me.
Yeah.
But you can't trust the edit on Love is Blind because they fuck you over.
Yeah.
Again, y'all, I'm always on pins and needles for every episode because I just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
A lizard could walk in the room and say, I'm ready to find the love of my life. And I would go, okay. That's where I am.
So, anyway, there's this. He walks out of two different things. He's like, Superman had a cold personality to start with. I guarantee you.
Not true.
This guy, it's not.
I don't know what Superman he's talking about, but not Christopher Reeve. Don't you dare talk about him being cold. Superman was wonderful and loving.
I think Christopher Reeve was cold.
No.
The Christopher Reeve Superman, he was kind of like, yeah.
Oh, I don't think Superman was cold.
I think cold is probably not a good term, but he was kind of like
reserved, yes.
Yes.
Because it couldn't be Clark. I can't get into this nerd wormhole. I'll go
Wormhole.
Wormhole.
So let's move on to probably my favorite cast member is AD.
I do like AD.
Amber Desiree.
I love that name. Amber Desiree. Sounds like a drag queen name.
Amber.
Welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Amber Desiree.
What do you think of the way that? Why do you think, out of everybody, AD responded to Matthew differently?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question because I was watching this going, huh.
Right.
It was, and that I will say a little bit. I felt like the show didn't show us that, but maybe it did, and I just missed it.
Here's what he said. He was already kind of in a place where he said, what are you looking for? Or she said, what are you looking for? And he said, certainly not to be a C-list celebrity. So I enjoy that calling out of the show.
I think he'd already been through some rough dates because he did say, this is so awkward for me.
Yeah. I just think he's fascinating.
And he says, showing emotion is weakness and this is scary. And he says, give me a little more time.
And he says, but I want to be good. Let's see, let's celebrity. She's like, well, that's good news.
I think the only thing that maybe what she connected with is she's used to Clays. She's used to fuckboys and plays. She's talked about this.
She really is.
So when you have that, y'all, because Poodle and I know fuckboys. Believe me, I know fuckboys. Fuckboys come on really strong with really intense energy, and you feel really, he's not doing that. And I think she
like
actually.
Someone you met this weekend.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I want him to be. I don't want to date him.
No, but I'm saying.
But they come on with that energy.
Yeah.
And so I think when he came on and kind of like, I need more time, that enabled her to lean in a little bit.
And he said he grew up in a small town, population 600. That's small.
That's smaller than Lone Grove. We were only 4,000. Smaller than Pickens.
Pickens said like 10,000 people.
Oh, big city. Wow.
So y'all, he says showing emotion was weakness, and being in this dating pod is the scariest environment possible.
Because he started therapy. He says 4 or 5 months ago, and he says my therapist, when I told her I was coming, I always give her one word answers. I remember having those clients, and when I told her I was doing this, he said my therapist's face was just like, "You're what?" Which was funny. It was funny.
I do believe it takes a lot to say, especially for a man, to say, I'm scared right now.
No, it is. And he's either going to be scary or it's got to come out. I need to know, what did this guy go through that at 36 years old?
Yep.
Because this is not, you're from that part of a
I totally agree.
This
There
is not normal. I'm a
there
man who doesn't
is-
want to talk about my emotions.
There is, y'all, something went wrong somewhere.
Something, and this is what I worry that AD is going to be like, because they had that conversation later where they talk. He's like, I get a little protective over you, and she's
Yeah.
like, I'm protective. So I'm like, are you there to save each other?
Some trauma happened.
Something happened
Yeah.
to him, though.
I agree.
We're gonna find out.
And anyway,
We better.
y'all,
I want you to save me. That's a Superman song.
Smallville.
Yeah.
And I liked it when AD says, if I see a red flag, I paint my nails red to match. Great line.
I might paint some nails red. That was a good line.
Some of the smartest, funniest lines I think we've heard in a while.
I love her. I love AD, and I hope that she's not. Who was it on one season of Love Is Blind who got disappointed by one guy? So then they just they chose someone else that we didn't love.
Disappointed.
Where one guy, like, it fell apart, and was it Alyssa and Uche? She was going to be with somebody else, and then she chose Uche. I don't remember. They all blend together.
They all do it.
They all blend together. But that's part of this show. Like,
Alyssa.
Uche was with Aaliyah. What was her
Aaliyah.
name? Aaliyah, sorry.
No.
So there was somebody else who was like gonna almost be with somebody else, and then they like fucked it up and went bad, and then they get with somebody else, and it was terrible. That's probably every season. They go out of our heads once we're done.
I think you're coming up with a police sketch that I just can't really replace.
Got it.
AD and Clay.
Speaking of Clay, the
Yo, this
boy.
guy's a fuck boy. He says smooth, but even when the fuck boy when a man is saying I'm smooth and suave, run the other way.
Yeah, and AD says, my mom says I need to stop dating sports guys, and that's what this guy is.
And y'all, a couple of other things he said I made sure to note. I don't want to age. I don't want to age either. But I'm not going to tell you that on a first date.
But you're better now, but you kind of used to be a fuckboy.
Yeah.
So, but you grew out of it. He's 30, so that means in fuckboy ages, he's 19, 20.
He also says, I'm thinking about getting a cat. She's like, I don't like cats. They scare me. And he's like, I like something that I don't have to show love to all the time.
Whoa.
Take that in.
When people tell you who they are, believe them.
Holy
he is
shit.
showing you who he is.
And
when he said that, I was like, well, fuck off.
Anyway,
because she says, well, I got to have my little kiss. And he's like, well, I'm a touchy guy. And she said,
did you hear him say, I wish I could kiss you right now?
Yes, because that's what fuckboys do.
Ugh.
So, and then he ends, he's like, your words have been really helpful. You really helped me to process
Now,
this
to
myself."
me, this was fake vulnerability.
100%.
This was, I've been really doubting myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. You're not doubt. You even say later on, you have a big ego.
Yeah.
And you tried to say that's like, it was like him saying, I'm a perfectionist. It's my weakness. I have a big ego. It's my blessing and a curse.
Remember, y'all, honesty is great. Great. Honesty is great. Radical honesty, where you tell everything you're thinking, regardless of how it might affect the other person and how it might make you sound like a crazy person, not great.
Not so good.
Remember that. There is a difference.
So it's after the first day, and Trevor saying Chelsea might be his number one. Chelsea's saying Trevor. They're all sitting eating breakfast.
I wrote down AD's picker might be off.
I think it is.
I know.
I think it is.
Day 2.
Yes, day 2. So
We're introduced to Amy, not Amy
now,
C.
This is another thing that got me, is because they kind of are showing them in a group, and AD says, I had a good date with Matthew. and every
All the
woman
women.
stopped talking and looked at her. So that's a little bit of, again, that was a red flag for me. If every woman's having a weird experience,
I
with this
totally
guy.
agree with you. But
So
I'm
I don't
just
know what
saying,
to think about him.
Why was it different with her?
I know, yeah. I don't know. She does say, when I have a red flag, I paint my nails red. But I go back to, again, because if you ever dated a guy who was totally not the type of guy you normally date and it throws you for a loop a little bit,
Yes.
I think that's
Yeah.
where she is.
And then he threw me for a loop.
Let's just move on.
I landed on the bed.
Amy and Johnny. Amy and Johnny. Johnny's got long blonde hair.
Go to Japan.
They talk a lot about. They have a conversation about anime. I don't understand any of this.
I zoned out.
I kind of did too. I don't know, y'all.
Naruto.
Whatever.
Y'all anime lovers, go fuck yourselves. I don't need to know.
It's fine.
No, I'm saying you don't need to educate me.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean.
So Amy does talk about her family is from Spain. Johnny's like,
Originally,
I love
yes.
your accent. It makes my heart melt. And she loves it. And he's a big family person. He's talking about growing up. She's originally from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
She had to learn the language here. She talks about being an only child
Now,
until
this guy is interesting. His hair needs to be shorter or
or
longer.
Mm-hmm.
The phase that it's in now gives him
also-
a punchable face for me.
It's also short around the top.
Yes.
I think he doesn't want it to look scraggly.
It is. There's like 4 things wrong with it.
He'll cut it for the reunion if he's in a couple.
Yeah, I think so.
100 his girlfriend or wife will make him cut it.
It is.
He's a handsome guy.
He is.
Pretty eyes.
But that hair needs to go.
Needs to go.
He grew up in New Jersey. With a lot of family, and she, like you said before, she was an only child, and she's like, she said, her parents used to beg people to come to her birthday parties, and I was like, that is sad.
That was
Y'all,
sad.
there's already cake. What else do you have to promise?
What kind of kid was she? That I don't know. But so she finally had a little brother. She literally prayed
My
for
wish
her.
upon a star, brother.
And that night, her mother got pregnant, and she had a little brother who's her everything. I do love
Maybe
that.
she poked holes in her mother's diaphragm.
Maybe. Pop, pop. Wow.
That's where I went.
Wow. I do like her, though, because she said, I don't need somebody to make me happy, but everybody wants love. And I went,
Yeah.
well, that was beautifully said.
I'm on the fence with her.
She said, I want people to see my beauty and soul because this shit ages. We get old.
Another date with Clay and AD.
Oh, Clay.
Oh, Clay.
Oh, Clay. Everybody calls him Oh, Clay.
Y'all, this was hard to watch. This whole flirty thing, because why did this guy sign up for this show?
To be famous.
That's it.
He's an influencer.
Yeah, this guy.
Actually, I take because you were
doesn't
like,
need to
I
be
like most
married.
of the guys. I don't like Clay.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't love Matt. I guess I like 4 out of 2. 2 out of 4.
2 out of 4.
Yeah.
There's another date with and the thing is, they're really juxtaposing this to show what qualities Matthew has, or what AD thinks he has that Clay doesn't have. And she says he's a pistachio.
AD when she's talking about
And that
Matthew.
he's poisonous in large quantities.
Are pistachios
I don't know.
poisonous?
feel like they are.
Are they?
I don't know.
Oh God.
Or something like that.
She said though he has a hard shell and she's allowing him to come out at his own pace.
I will say, what do you think that he's a fan of instrumental music? I don't know what that is. Is it like film scores?
I took it like watercolors on the Sirius channel, like just smooth jazz. But maybe he means like classical, and that's what he meant.
For when he's draining the blood from his victims?
Yeah, because I knew you'd get on the murder train with this.
No, I can see it. I'm just the thing about it is he completely creeped me out, but then the editing was taking me in a way for redemption.
This is the way it works. I
Yeah.
hope I'm wrong. I hope Chris Cornell makes a fool out of me. Right? Isn't that the guy who reads Chris Cornell?
That's the lead singer of
I'm wrong.
Soundgarden.
I can tell by
Chris Cornell. No. Who are you talking about?
who makes this show.
Chris Colin.
Oh, Colin. I'll remember that because I have butt
Chris
sex.
Cornell died.
He did?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a little dark, but suicide.
Oh, no.
Trigger warning. Yeah. He was a great rock voice, too. Lead singer of Soundgarden. My first concert. Moving on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You asked. You notice how I said he died, and I gave the look to you saying we should move on, and you ignored it.
I do what Poodle does.
Read the room.
AD says to Matthew, she says, I hope whoever is talking to Matthew is fucking nice. And he laughs.
Did you hear?
Not surprised by his music.
Did you hear him say, "You make me nervous but comfortable at the same time"?
Yes. Matthew says that he's done a dance off, and that
and pulled his groin,
tried
or
to do
pulled
the
his
split
hamstring,
and tore his hamstring. That was funny. This part made me like him a lot more.
It's weird because
he was funny and charming.
If
more.
he was telling all the girls the same thing, we're going to get a real reveal.
I think they're going to show that. I didn't watch next episode.
I didn't either.
I didn't either. Oh,
Oh,
okay. I thought you did.
No.
I bet my theory, y'all, because we record these, we'll spoil it if not. So we record these usually 1 or 2 at a time. I think they're going to show it like in a flashback or something.
And I'll be honest.
Next episode.
You would hope that you're going to give someone original material, but I feel like when you do 8 or 9 dates, I have some of the same material on dates.
Okay, what if you were AD and another guy was saying, blah, 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 said the exact same thing to me. He talked about he said he envisioned me having creamy shoulders.
I'd scratch his eyes out.
Exactly.
That's I was doing it, but it meant something to me each time. I could make it believable.
But if someone did that to you, your Enneagram 4 would freak the fuck
I
out.
would scratch his eyes out. I'd grow my nails especially long for that.
You would.
So I'd be able to literally scratch their corneas.
You'd be so angry.
Oh, it would be, I would actually scratch and then scratch their jugular.
I know you would.
Yeah.
I know you would.
That would not happen with me.
I know.
So, moving on, this is her irrational fear. I thought you would
This is where I liked AD a little bit more because birds will gnaw your
Peck
brains
out
out.
your
Peck
brain.
out your brain. They will. This seemed rational to me. She seems perfectly normal. Psychoval passed.
So Jimmy and Jessica, who is Jessica's number 1 at this point.
Also on the wine bottles, it says "Love is wine," and that made me laugh. That was funny.
So she's like, my husband.
We've got to get our Love is Blind glass from our sissy
Yes.
who works at Netflix.
It seems like they both felt a connection immediately. Jessica says, there's some stuff in my past that that we need to talk about. And he's like, yeah, I've got some stuff. And she's like, so I have a 10-year-old daughter. And he was like, why didn't we talk about this earlier?
I will say, you didn't also mention, I really enjoyed them, him like being scared to blow his nose in front of her.
The honk.
Because that's such like a human
Yeah.
thing, like a part of that's what's cool about Love is Blind. Those things you don't find out about people till maybe 3 or 4 months in. And because they were despite, that was cute. Anyway, back to her having a daughter.
This is weird because if you're on a dating app, you'd probably put that you had a daughter.
You probably would.
And so I wonder what happened before apps when you would mention it. I feel like you would mention it probably on the first date.
I do feel like what we're looking at this. Why is this such a big deal? We're in our mid 40s.
Yeah.
And I think she looks a little older than she is because
She's 28. Yeah.
She's 28. So a lot of
She does
people that are
look older.
28 are going to not expect, I think, you having a child. Because I think
see.
that's because I was watching this going, why is she acting like this is a big deal? And I went, oh, when she described that she was a senior in high school and especially where she was in North Carolina, that was such a big deal. I went, oh, I bet she has A, little shame, but B, she's just dated people that are like, what? You have a kid that's
At 28. Which to me, maybe I'm wrong, which is why I would lead with it.
To me, it actually, somebody who had a child who was 28 years old, I probably would want to date them more.
Because you're codependent as fuck.
No, because I love kids. But also I would see that someone is responsible, though, and can take care of something.
And you'd want to help them in that.
I'd say, like, does she breastfeed? Because I will.
Codependent AF.
But no, I do think, though, it would show that at that age, if you're wanting to marry someone, like, this person can have can't take care of anybody else.
I agree. I guess I'm thinking, I would, that's why I would lean into it. Again, I don't have a child, so that I know of.
That you know of.
But I don't know. I
would lean into it as well.
Yeah.
Because the way I look at it is, but it's almost like,
and y'all, he is what? How do you gauge his reaction?
I want to look at it to me like a child. I know it's not your full identity, but it is part of your identity. So it's almost like when I meet people, and I'm like, "Hey, girl." When I meet them, I get a little gayer when I first, if you can believe that, when strangers first meet me.
No, I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh, don't even act like you don't do it. Because I want to know if you don't want to be around me because of because I'm gay, then get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with that. If you don't want to be around me because I've got a kid, then bye. Stop wasting my time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, what were you going to say? Your question?
How did you gauge his reaction?
This is where I was like, is this? Because it seemed like he was totally shocked. Whereas like Trevor later is kind of like,
well, you know what thing is?
Okay.
This guy from small town, bumfuck, ramshackle, North Carolina had an image in his head of.
I thought he took it too hard to me.
Well, here's the thing. This guy said, we can build a family together. And we can raise our kids together.
And she's not a virgin, but if you don't have,
I don't think
it
that's
goes
important.
in that purity, though.
I disagree. I don't think it goes in with the pure. I think a 10-year-old daughter is different than being a virgin.
Yes. I guess purity. Do you think though, it's a clean slate for him with her?
That's a better way to think about it.
Yeah, that's what I meant by that. Like. You know, they can start anew, they can start fresh, and that what you're
honestly, that's the supposition going in.
Yeah,
for this whole show,
that's true.
So we haven't had anyone in the pods that we've seen who's had a child.
Yeah, because it's different. Because now you're not going to marry someone; you're going to have to be a father.
Yeah,
granted. Yeah, you're not the kid's dad, but they're 10.
If he gets married to her, he's immediately a father.
And that's a lot.
And so I thought it was reasonable.
I guess for me, if somebody said I had 5 kids, I'd go, great.
Again, we got to go to a little codependent. Maybe we go to that CODA meeting tonight. Yeah, I'll drop you off. I'm not picking you up. Sure, you'll take home all the other people.
I will.
So, and he does finally say this isn't a deal breaker for me, and he asks her about her daughter, and he gets the 411. It was someone the weird thing is she's like, it's someone I knew in elementary school, and then we just were friends always, and then whoops, I got pregnant.
She got pregnant at 18, and then they were together.
I think she yada 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 over the sex for a Seinfeld reference.
It did make me. I didn't like how she said, and then she's like, I wasn't really sleeping around. I'm like, who cares if you were? You do it. But again, we're in North Carolina. But it's that idea of like.
But this is weird because she said I wasn't sleeping around. it kind of sounded like, but I was only sleeping with that one guy. So, but it didn't matter to me. Yeah, I guess we don't have those hang-ups. So
Clearly.
they co-parent. They've never been married.
They were together only for like a year and a half.
And he said, I have feelings for you.
And she is that where she, well, he does say, how come we didn't talk about it earlier? And that's where she brings up, I want you to have a relationship with me. And he says, it's not a deal breaker for me. I'd like to hear more about it. That was a good line to say.
Yeah,
It almost wasn't his reaction then. It was his reaction later.
When talking to Chelsea, when he'd finally processed, shit, she's got a 10-year-old daughter who I'm going to get gifts from, and I'm going to have to, like, take her to do stuff. And I was thinking me and the wife will go out on my bass boat, at least for the first 3 years of our marriage. Literally. And that's what I'm saying. He had an image in his mind of this girl.
He did.
And the 10-year-old daughter came and took a shit on that image.
And yes, like when the 40-year-old child comes and takes a shit on their 80-year-old father that you're about to get him to sign his NDR.
Children with lawyers, y'all. DNR. Y'all, we're back from dinner.
We took a break.
We were going to have a Reality Gaze project manager meeting.
Basically, where we talked how I said I think we need to hire, even though I love Christina and Caitlin, I wanted to hire just shirtless men in their underwear that came and worked for us, and someone told me no.
And I talked about how Christina's alcohol abuse has gotten out of control.
Caitlin's coke is too much.
And yeah, both of their
that's
both.
pretty, don't get us started on Frank.
We're having an intervention for both of them.
Also, I
was drinking 2 martinis.
We both had 2 martinis. So this is a night show now,
This is a
y'all.
night show.
This went from day. We're like that.
Tonight.
What's that dress that we bought at that one store in downtown?
Suzanne Summers' 3-way poncho. It goes from day to night and something in between. That was a time when garments could be used 3 ways, and it's a shame we're not there anymore.
I think back about that. Remember how that woman probably went home that night and said, honey, these 2 faggots came in today and I made a sale. We were in there for 45 minutes with this woman. It was like a very loud Iranian woman telling us all the different ways we could wear the Suzanne Summers poncho.
Yeah.
And every time she changed the look on you, you would catwalk
Yes.
in the store.
Did we give that away?
I don't
or do
know.
I still have it in my house?
I think I wanted to give it away and you said no.
You know what? I think I said no, it's mine.
I don't know where they are though now.
I think it's in my closet. Like a lot of things. Like my shame. Jimmy and Chelsea.
I don't know what's going to happen now. All right. Love is Blind.
His biggest achievement is going to college. He's the first generation to be there on both sides.
Good for him. He said, my parents didn't support me going, but now they're proud of me.
Were you the first? Or Brian?
Well, my brother, he went and then he dropped out. I actually thought he partied. He's like, no, he actually worked too much. He got involved in side projects. But I think from my immediate family of the 4 of us, yes, because my mother was going to college, but then her mother told her, we can only afford one of you to go to college.
And we're going to send the boys.
Your little brother should go to college, not you.
Very, very common, but terrible.
And then come to find out, 20 years later, my grandpa told my mom, we had the money. We could have sent you to college.
Let's move on from that because that's just too dark.
But I think were you the first from your family?
My father had went to a 2-year business school, and my mother went to a trade school.
Ah, okay. What'd she do for a trade?
Her body.
What do you mean, her body? Oh. Wow.
No, I think she did. She did.
What, you gonna come on, get on this?
Stop. I think she did accounting. I think it was.
No, that's what my mother did. That's what women did. But I had cousins that had graduated, like
Me too.
my
But
Uncle
in
Andy's son.
In my immediate family, though,
It's just me.
I was the first to go. Yeah.
My brother's about to finish his.
Wow, good for him.
Well, he works for the city now, and they don't do shit, so might as well get an online degree while he's there.
All right.
Anyway, no, they do a
But
lot.
so she did not go to school. She said, I went to trade schools, beauty schools, and she said, I was the only flight attendant who didn't go to college. Do you think this guy's for real?
Jimmy.
Yeah. Part of me thinks that this is a good old boy, nice guy routine.
I think Jimmy.
And there's something underneath it.
The reason why I agree with you. The reason why I don't love Jimmy, or I don't trust Jimmy, that's a better word to use. That's a better word to use on Love is Blind is not do we like them or dislike them, do we trust them?
Yeah.
I don't fully trust him because I know too many guys who did this who they don't even know they're going to end up having an affair and cheat on their wife when they have 3 kids. But they go through life going through the motions.
They're the good guy.
It's this thing. I'm not going to do it so I can share it here. But I've thought about doing a separate podcast or something where I talk about when people come out about some non-gay people come out in their life. Because when you're a straight white man with blonde hair and blue eyes, I don't mean this to sound patronizing, but when do you have to think about your life and how it affects people and how other people affect you?
That is true. I think
he's that. I think he's gone through the motions of that.
Well, I think up to a point he confessed to her. I think this is the moment where he said, people look down on us because we didn't have a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think that insecurity is there. But as far as him being out in the world, he doesn't have to code switch. He's not having to do. At the same time, nothing challenges him. So I agree with you there.
Because I'll be honest, with my own kind of internal classism and things like that, I look at him and I don't think he looks, quote, poor.
Oh, I do.
Because I've been trained, that's so much of why, like he was dressed well.
No,
he's got haircut.
He's got one
I'm
generation
talking about
of poverty.
Look, when you listen to him talk, it's a different thing. You can hear it. But I'm just saying that like we all have those kind of biases of people.
Yeah, I understand.
Anyway,
so at what point this is crazy, and she says I got married when I was young. She confesses that she's had a child. It was not my person, and he said, "Doesn't seem like a big deal because I've had bigger news today."
Yes.
Now, he said, "I've had a lot dropped on me today." So this is interesting. So this is his biggest problem here is when she is trying to be vulnerable with him and tell him something, he somehow doesn't have enough in him to hear it and hold space for that. He has to, and I imagine this must have been hard hearing that the woman he had right before, I assume,
or she's
had a 10-year-old daughter.
He made it about her.
Right.
I don't think he did. I don't think that's the full. I think you're right. I think that was a lot for him, and this was just a 1-2 punch.
I agree. And it's a shame that she took it. I understand why she took it personally.
She's who I felt for.
Yeah.
Because honestly, she didn't know what had gone. No. Chelsea didn't know what happened.
Right.
She didn't know what had gone on. And this is kind of, sadly, we're seeing this, not sadly, I mean, it is hard to watch, but we're seeing this more in Love is Blind of people that are bringing the collateral damage from a previous encounter, from a previous date into their current date. We got a lot of that last season, clearly. I don't know if we got it before. And I feel like these last 2 seasons, we're starting to see that more.
Yeah.
And it feels almost just, it just feels, not Shakespearean, but it almost just feels like very, it's just prophetically sad that
Yeah.
because this has nothing. They're dealing with the emotions and feelings of someone who's not even in the room.
Yeah, totally. The more I was thinking about this when I kind of was rolling around in my head when we were
I thought
at
you were going
dinner.
to say rolling around in the bed.
I was rolling around in my bed. But I was trying to think about...
Do you look like you look like Sonic the Hedgehog when you're getting fucked, just rolling around collecting coins?
And I'm throwing balls of fire, too. Spitting them with my butthole. Why am I burned? Here's I was thinking about Jessica. And I was thinking about her idea. I want them to know me before they judge me. And I was thinking, is that fair to the person you're talking to? The more I was
Probably
thinking
not.
about it,
Probably not.
that she's not really thinking about the reception.
It's more devil's advocate. I feel
like this is gonna divide an
people.
audience. Yeah.
I actually agree with you. And as I'm saying it though, is that because I've been conditioned that women who have children need to give up their identity and say that they're a mother and that that's the most important thing in their life. So is that part of that for me as well?
I agree with that.
Because I agree with you. I feel like first or second date, she should have said, I'm a mom of a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
But then I asked, am I just being a stupid guy that's conditioned to think that women should have to do that? So I really want to hear from clearly our female and or mother. You don't have to be a mother to weigh in on this.
No.
I want to hear from sissies on this because I think this is a topic that honestly should be explored by women and we should listen. I don't know what to fucking say to that.
To me, it's less about that she is a mother above all else.
Mm-hmm.
It's less about that, but more about, and this is, please don't take me when I say this word the wrong way, how much baggage you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I talked about that. I agree with that in before where the way the way she explained getting pregnant in high school and the shame she felt with it. I feel like she carries some shame in that. How can you not when you're from the South and I should talk to my sister-in-law because it's not the South, but Oklahoma, and she got pregnant. She was 19.
Yeah.
Just to ask her, like,
if
how
she would date, and I think it's different.
She's pretty fucking ballsy, though. I don't think she gives a fucking shit
That's
what
true.
people think.
I think, imagine if someone else was going into Love is Blind with, let's say,
I would have to tell somebody, you're not my kid, but I have to tell them about Poodle at least on the second date.
Yes,
hey,
you
look,
would.
I've got this best friend and a business partner who's a bitch, and he's going to judge you and read you for filth on our first date.
And you'll be lucky if you survive. But here's the thing. Imagine, would you tell someone if you had another dependent like an elderly mother?
I would.
That's the thing.
I would, yeah.
So I feel like...
Because it's someone who lives in your house.
The expectation here is she thinks all men hear children as boner killers.
It makes me hard.
I know.
It sounds gross when I said it. Didn't mean it that way.
I recoiled. But
no, you're right, because let's say if her daughter was 18, I would
wouldn't
be
be a
like,
problem.
you tell them whenever you want to tell. Your daughter's grown. Even if her daughter was 17, still in the house, but like a high school kid.
Because this man now has responsibility to be at least, even if they're not a father in name, but some type
for 8
of
years for
parent
almost half
figure.
of the child's life. That's a lot.
I want to hear from people. It could be that I'm a little bit... I could be just obtuse about this because I'm not necessarily paternal or maternal.
But I think I think we actually come from a different, and I want to check my own kind of biases on this. You are very Enneagram 4 Libra justice warrior about this.
I
and
am,
it's the
yeah.
clarity of justice. Whereas I am this is why I've decided not to have children in my life, because I know if I have children, I'm not saying you have to do this, but I do believe that if I had children, my life comes second and my children's life is first. I raise my kids. That's just how I believe. That's what I think parenting
And I
should
don't
be.
necessarily believe that.
So but
yeah.
you don't. But I'm just saying we come from two different. You're justice, whereas I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I would never go on a date and not tell someone about my child on the first date. I don't mean that as judgment. I'm just saying that's where I am.
I wonder what her history is like.
God, y'all, don't start a fight in the Facebook group over this.
Yeah.
Y'all because I will say this. It's like our den mother, Jackie Weissman, says, who's in our Facebook group, the Sissy Squad. We have fun in there, but Jackie says all that, like, we'll have like a little skirmish or whatever. And the mods, our mods are, what did I say?
Skirmish.
That's what I said.
Not like squim.
And so, scream.
Scream.
Our mods are fantastic. And I mean, they're fantastic. And so, they usually fires get put out quickly, but Jackie said once, she said, "Oh, this is nothing like what happens in my mom's group."
Oh, parenting groups. Holy
There's so
fuck.
if this is a topic and
the
you'll talk
fucking
about
Wild
it, and that's
West.
great. I just want you to recognize that motherhood, identity, it's a very personal thing.
And very, very
And
complicated.
if we have a conversation about this, I really want you to lead with kindness
Amen.
and grace and accepting a different opinion. Or not accepting, but valuing a different
and trying
opinion.
to help us understand because we don't have kids.
Yeah, because I think this is because I don't know the answer to this.
Yeah. I do think it was interesting that when she talked about it with the women, they're like, "Oh, you're going to tell him that you have a kid." She's like, "No," and they went, "Oh."
They were surprised. Yeah.
So I feel like the other women and y'all, sadly, this woman's going to get a lot of flack.
And I do want to say this. However she handled it is the right way for her to handle it.
Yeah.
I don't think she did anything wrong. It's just kind of about personal preference. Like some people like to give a wristy with their left hand or an old fashioned with their right one. Whatever you want.
I'm a lefty.
I didn't need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So,
where are we?
Anyway, basically, and so he's saying she's
It's
crying.
We're talking about Jessica, even though we've already passed them as a couple. We're actually talking about Jessica and when Jimmy and Chelsea in the room.
Well, it's because
she was in the room.
He's still reeling.
But I think to date someone else and to be present when you date someone else, you can have the energy of other people in the room.
Yep, agree. So y'all, she's crying, and he's like, "Well, you know how some things are with people," and she's like, "Yeah, you're not gonna like everybody,"
And
she thinks he's blowing her off.
yeah, because he said, "Sorry to bring up other people. I just have a lot dumped on me. It's a good thing you told me. I don't want to lead you in the wrong direction." And she's like, "Yeah." And he said, "I don't want to," that's where he says, "I don't want to lead you." She's like, he said, "No, you're understanding the exact opposite of what I'm trying to
And she
tell
walks
you."
out.
And she starts crying and just walks out. Yeah. And he goes, "Fuck."
Moving on to Chelsea. This seems like it's the next day because she's in a new outfit and a new set of makeup.
I got to say, this interaction that we have, I love Trevor.
You're a fan.
I'm really liking Trevor. I'm scared because to say it.
I'm so scared because he's getting the edit of the guy who's doing really well and then fucks up.
Like orange cutie guy. What's his name with her and who was terrible to him? The young one.
That's all of them.
The young one with curly hair that you thought was so cute that was too young to get married, that was 24, 26 with black hair and blue eyes. And he dated
This is so... I don't know what the fuck you're talking
Who's
about.
the couple where they showed, like, at the reunion, they showed the clip of them talking about when he was a parent. She was trying to say he food shamed her.
Oh, Cole and Zenab.
Cole and Zenab.
Yeah.
He started out so strong. Remember how we loved him? Which I don't think he food shamed her.
This is not her. This is not him, I should say.
Yeah.
This guy...
But he got a lot of flack. That's what I'm saying.
He did.
Like, yeah. I like him still.
This guy... I don't know. He's just... We don't know enough yet. I'm going to refrain from even commenting.
I'm going to say
Life
this.
should be fun.
I would make out with him and feel of his arms.
He's hot. He's hot. But he's hot in a normie kind of way.
I don't even mind the mullet. Normally, I'm like douche. Bleh.
That's surprising because you would have a problem with people's hair.
I know. I don't mind the mullet.
Wow.
I normally would.
So y'all, they're talking about getting married.
Yes. By the way, he said, if I take you to a funeral, I'm going to be there for you. And so is she the one that makes the joke? Oh no, that's AD who makes a joke about her father, which made me laugh so much. That made me love her. So they're reading like questions. There's a Riddler box where they ask questions and whatever. And Chelsea says to Trevor, I have told my 3 serious relationships I loved them, but I don't think I was feeling it. And Trevor said, yeah, I agree with that. Like
I think everyone's done that.
Yes,
everyone said the L word.
I'm not even going to ask you how often you said the L word when you didn't mean it.
You know, a lot of things happen in flagrante delicto. A lot of things. When there's fingers around your neck squeezing, it's amazing what you can say.
So Chelsea,
I love you too.
So Chelsea even says, he's like, she says, so I was married. He went, and he kind of goes, well, yeah, we didn't talk about, baking powder, please. And he's like, wait, I don't think we said that.
Oh my God, I told you right.
She's like, but I don't think it was true love. And he was like, yeah, he's like, that doesn't faze me at all.
Was
but I
trying to be so cool about it too.
But that was the way to handle it.
Yeah, I agree.
That was Jimmy. Take a note. That was the way you handle when someone tells you
this
they were
guy's
married.
got a lot more emotional intelligence.
I
I
agree. Because then Trevor says, look, and this is what kind of made me love him, and it's probably terrible, but he said, people want the fairy tale wife, but that's not life. At this age, it's hard to find someone who hasn't been married or is really close to being married. Facts. He's looking at this. I will say, it does feel like there's, and maybe we can suss these out as we go along. It does feel like there's 2 camps in Love is Blind. There's the fairy tellers, and then there's a realist.
Yeah.
And maybe he's more of a realist.
Yeah. I agree with that.
If we look back on past seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Chelsea
the realists
says,
are usually more successful.
are you really ready for something serious? And Trevor's like, yeah.
1,000%.
And so.
With you.
And they're like, giggle, giggle, giggle. Let's talk about Johnny and Amy.
Da 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 da. Their name is Amy. Da, 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 da. And she's really cool. When all the guys see her, they sit and drool. Now, I've got to say,
God, she's a woman. Eat that pussy, that woman.
Maybe not sing really loudly in my apartment.
It's 9:00 at night.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I did not hate this blues song because it was done tongue in cheek.
Wasn't anything fucking Zach.
That was so weird. It also wasn't like Kwame's guitar song.
This wasn't serious.
It wasn't.
They weren't taking. They're like, I'm just doing a stupid
He was
song.
making fun of it.
I'm gonna say this now. This made me like him.
He is charming to me.
Yeah, he's charming.
That hair needs a change. We have established that.
It does need a change.
He's kind of cheesy. Then
I like him.
Then we have
he's harmless. He feels He's the one guy who feels harmless.
That's what we can hope for Love is Blind man, y'all. Harmless. I think you're right.
But he is the one guy who, because Trevor I really like, but
he's not like Uche from last season, who's kind of like definitely a narcissist, possibly a sociopath.
Oh, fuck that guy.
You know,
he'll get on the law bus.
Or Matt from Dallas,
or Matthew from North Carolina,
right? He's not from North Carolina, but he's
from?
He's from Charlotte, but he's from somewhere in the Midwest.
Oh, he is.
He has to be. He doesn't speak like North Carolina.
Oh, there are a lot of people that don't have Southern accents on this show.
Charlotte is a city that's a banking city. It's where Bank of America was located, and it's an international city.
Oh, okay.
Then we have this weird bloopers segment about a guy who rips his pants, and
Jamal, he's hot.
y'all, we'll never see any of these
Nope,
people again.
we'll never see Jamal again, or Alejandra, or Ben, or Sonny, or
Nope.
Nolan, who says, I'm confused with my chest hair, which is a taco meat top.
Taco meat.
He's a little bit of Sarah Ann, y'all. That's our talker.
I'm into Nolan.
Nolan is your type.
Yeah.
Jamal is mine.
So y'all,
He could rip my pants.
AD is basically talking about the girls are supportive, but
This is the next
they're
day.
not chatty catties anymore. She says chatty catty. I think she means chatty cathies, or maybe it was
Chatty
it was-
cat. Well, I've heard chatty catties meaning like cattish, but now.
I think she was meaning chatty cathies as in talkative.
Oh, as in Kathy, the comic
Yeah.
strip talking.
No.
I love
They-
chocolate.
They call chatty cathies when they can't stop talking about something. Anyway,
She's saying we are keeping our men tight in the quarters.
and AD is talking to this woman named Amber, same name as AD, first name, and she's like, "So,
Wait, are you
who
talking
is-
about that? I thought is there? Oh, yes.
who you're talking to?" She's like, "Is it who I think?"
And 80's like, not.
And we don't know anything, but put a pin in Amber. Even though we have not seen this woman on a date
At all.
this was the biggest failure of storytelling we have had in this episode.
Let's wait for season 2. Or episode 2. Let's hold our breath because I feel like they're going to. I could be wrong. I feel like they're going to do a new thing and show like the day before.
I hope so.
They have to show, unless I only hope that Love is Blind is not doing sometimes what 90 Day Fiance does, where they leave things out of the season to show for the reunion. I'm worried they're going to do that. And I don't love that because that, especially in a show like this, we need to see this happen. And we need to see a chronological order of this happened and then this
Yes.
happened and then this happened. Won't make sense otherwise.
So y'all,
She goes on a date with Clay, and he says, my dad is smooth and suave. Look, y'all.
why question? I understand you're talking about your dad and you say I look up to my dad and he's like this too. What is the point of all this?
Again, people can't help but tell you who they really
I
are.
know.
He says, my ego is smooth and suave,
My ego is huge.
and my dad is, and then my ego is huge. You know who I thought of? Jay from Ashley and Jay of 90 Day Fiance of Hey that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because we met Jay's father.
Skins.
Who was Skins, who just basically
Got lots of pussy.
Got a lot
Knee
of
deep.
pussy in Jamaica, knee deep. And this guy idolized his dad, and you think they're not going to idolize. So when he says, my dad is smooth and suave, I go, oh, your dad cheated on your mom then, right? Because that's immediately what I heard.
It
Immediately.
felt that way. Then y'all, there's this. This guy's used this, but I think this is a security blanket for me, and I felt like the people I felt like I wanted to get close to never wanted me. That's your own shit.
I never felt chosen by something.
I found this hard to believe.
It
I
just
just-
felt meme talk.
Yeah.
It felt, and Clay he said, but, I love this conversation with you. I don't hear this often. I feel like I can trust you. And AD says, yeah, I feel like I can understand you to be that vulnerable. And I know you and I know, and what I know, and I want different too. And she said, you're an honorable man. And then Clay says, and this is where, thank God,
My
he shows
mouth
his
dropped.
crack. My worst fear, we fall
My
in love.
worst fear.
Worst fear is we fall in love and we do the reveal, and I'm not attracted to the physical. And you actually see 80's face look like she, as Poodle said, had bad shrimp.
And I will say, what I did hear him say was completely honest. And I think he was.
You don't say it in Love is Blind.
But what he did give away, and she even tried to help him out. He's like, Love is Blind, I get it, but I really do get it, but I want to have that reveal the production, where I'm super turned on by my hot wife.
I know that sounds shallow, but I like lips and butts. And I want y'all to think about this. When you've had, because they're together, what, 2 weeks is it?
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks.
No, because they have 2 weeks alone.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they're together, or 3 weeks maybe. They're together like 10 days or
Yeah.
something stupid like that. They're together and all this time. Y'all, this is like, this is probably their 5th, 6th, 7th date.
Yeah.
And these marathon dates where they're talking to each other for like 4 hours.
And the thing about it is,
But
y'all.
I just want to say, you have this conversation with someone where you're talking about your personal things, your dreams, your life, and then at the end of it, you say what you really care about and worried about is
And
that
it
she
negates
doesn't have a good ass.
everything
And you
that
say
you've said
to
before.
you say that to a woman.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And at this point, I think they both know both of them are black by the way they're talking.
Probably, yeah.
And especially you're saying, "Hey, black woman, you're still going to have to conform to what I want."
And as a black woman, you need to have lips, butts, things
Yep.
that are like that's pressure for black women to have in the community.
Yep. And naturally lean toward a petite.
And so you need to have a little waist, a big butt, and big lips.
And big lips. Hope you got your surgery ready, future Clay.
So I say all that and spell it out because if you didn't think AD's response was valid, then think again. Because the way she reacted was exactly how anyone could react. But it kills me that then later we'll finish it, but then it's the juxtaposition of this within the conversation she has.
She does say, she's like, if this is going to happen, she says, I don't want to sell myself on my physical attributes. That defeats the purpose of all this. And
Clay's
she's
like, well, that's a big part. She's like, well, and she says to the camera, I'm not going to tell Clay this.
and I went, good for you.
I'm not. She's like,
Good for
because
you.
I'm battling what to sacrifice and compromise on, but I am not going to tell him. But that's what's interesting about the show and what we're having now in this season and last season. It's kind of we're bringing people into the room.
Yeah.
She is bringing Clay into the room with her and Matthew. And then when Matthew goes on this kind of, it goes into the fairy tale.
Yeah.
Clay was trying to be, and now he's saying all the right things to her at the right time.
Yeah. Because AD obviously wants the fairy tale because she's been with players.
She wants, yeah.
Yeah. And she's sick of guys either cheating on her for her butt not big enough. Sorry, cheating on her for her butt not being big enough, or her boobs not being big enough, or
She's had guys say this to her before. 100%.
yeah. I don't think her picker's good, sadly. Even though I really like her.
AD, I see you.
Now, y'all, let's talk about Matthew and AD, who he's been saying, I'm a little jealous. You're the only one here. And if you're going to want the guy who's going to be
The center of attention.
at parties, it's not me.
But I've been thinking about you all the time. And he said, and I felt like yesterday when we talked, something happened. I had a deep connection with you. He said, you're funny, you're quick-witted, you're caring, and I feel very protective of you, and it feels different. I will say, I get a little creeped out by him, but I do like that he talks about specific things about her that he likes and not just general meme shit.
Yeah. Then he
so
says
worried.
there are two outcomes, with you or not. Now, when Clay was talking about being chosen, I don't know if AD's been chosen a lot. So this makes her immediately feel validated.
Yes, because I want to take this step further. Sorry, y'all. We're going to get a little deep right now. But if you do not feel chosen by your mom or dad or by the people that raised you, you're going to suffer with always wanting to be chosen by someone. And I don't think Matthew was probably felt chosen by his parents. I can guarantee you the way he acts.
Well, AD says, my father and I we weren't that close.
Yeah, she makes that joke
Yeah.
about him
and
dying.
we don't know what happened there, but
So she didn't feel chosen by her dad, too. That's true. Oh, God, this isn't going to work.
so y'all, she says, I'm shocked at the things that he's telling her. She's like, you're making my day. And this is a moment where he's really quiet, says, I wish I could see you. I want to give you the biggest hug. And he says, you ask for me, what's in a full circle moment. In one of his questions was, what's my greatest accomplishment? Finding you.
That's where I went, bleh. Now, did you cry at that?
No.
Because I thought I wrote, when he said that, that's when I wrote, love bombing, I don't like it.
I teared up when he said, I'm being protected of you.
That was sweet, but the greatest accomplishment, in 8
No,
days,
this
the greatest
was
accomplishment
weird.
is finding her. I'm going to tell him this. Then find better accomplishments for yourself.
I think you get in this show and you get tunnel vision.
100%.
And
If I was on this show, y'all, I'd be engaged in 6 days.
Yeah.
100%.
I can see you would say something like that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I would get, y'all, you're tired. You're going all day.
Now, I was going to say when he said, if he said this to other people, which, spoiler alert, if he said, I wanted to call my mom and tell her I finally found her to anyone else, he's a piece of shit.
I finally found someone.
What? No,
Do it in the right key.
No, I was going to sing the harmony, and then you did
I
somewhere.
did the melody that time.
I don't know what key you're singing it in. Sing it.
Do it in the right key.
No, you sing it. I'll just.
I finally found
There!
someone.
No. No, no, no.
Maybe I don't know the melody. Someone to share my life.
We need to move on because that was not good.
And
this
whatever
is.
I do, it's just got to be you.
But no, it's the da 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 dee da dum.
I thought it was da 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 dee da da.
No.
What?
Not close.
You have the melody wrong.
I was actually, y'all, I was shaken by how off it was. I stopped singing.
Well, you don't yes and.
You can't yes and
You
harmony.
can yes and it.
How can I? I can't harmonize
Just
with you.
keep going.
There's a right melody and a wrong melody. So he says, what did you think? What do you
She's
think
like,
of the
you're
engagement?
making my kind day. She's like, I'm crying. I wasn't expecting this. And he's like, he basically says, why am I so lucky? And I love that AD says, you are lucky. And Matthew says, what do you think about this engagement thing? And she said,
It's cute.
he said, I wanted to ask permission. And that she said, my dad's not going to think much because he's dead. We weren't that close. And he's like, okay, we don't have to worry about that. Important question. Our AD says, an important question. How important is ethnicity or racial things to you? And Matthew pauses and he says, that's not important to me at all. Why do you ask? And she said, you just never know. And she's like, so you don't care? And he's like, no, I don't care about that. And she says, you're a wise man. Because if you read the subtext in that, what Clay just told her is, I want a black woman with a big ass and big lips.
Yes.
And a petite waist. I want a Nicki Minaj. Like, this is what I want.
Yes.
And so
Nicki Minaj has not had a good couple of days.
she is not. She's going crazy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Don't come for Megan, honey.
don't come from Megan. Yeah. Nicki Minaj is a little crazy though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
real purple.
It's nothing new.
Nothing new, yeah. So I just bring that up because it's what people, the subtext of what they're saying.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize he was saying the perfect thing that she needed to hear to heal
Did
her.
not. Then there's this song that goes, you'll be my Mars, I'll be Venus.
We'll be the universe together in the bed.
So she says, I'm smitten. And she's like, I'm assuming he's white. And she's like, I'm okay with it. I've never dated a white man. So, y'all, she's in.
Same.
She's. Yeah, I know. She's completely in really like with this guy.
Yeah. Oh,
Probably close. Probably
I
further
would
than
say
that.
love.
Interior women's quarters.
Bump bump.
Fucking tall Amber.
I don't know if Amber means to just be a bitch, but she just comes off that
Where
way.
is this woman's villain edit? We haven't even seen her.
She is.
What is the show doing?
She is serving this villain edit.
But I'm saying, if we should have seen this show,
I'm telling you, I think they're going to do an episode 2. If not, I'm going to be pissed.
but it should have been in here early.
I agree, but maybe they're trying a new format to freak us out.
No.
So Amber is talking to AD, and they're all like,
I had a great date with Matthew. She's like, I had a great day with him too. Oh, guess what?
Yeah.
Then he talked about my dad.
And she's like,
and
what?
we would just
He talked
leave
about
if he
talking to
wanted.
my dad.
And y'all,
no, finish what you're saying, that we could just leave
we could just leave, which is exactly what he told
if
AD.
I wanted to.
And y'all, AD's lashes went. Phew, phew.
But I got to say, give this woman the fucking Emmy for poker face.
She did not belie her feelings. And then she's like, at one point,
She said, really? And Amber said, yeah, it was a great date. He said, words were nice, but I need action. And he said, can I draw you a map? So can you draw me a map so I can come and get you?
and that's when I went,
I wrote, oh my God. And AD says, y'all, without a beat, well, it's just getting stranger and stranger as the minutes fucking go by, isn't it?
my question is,
It's
I could see Matthew using the same expressions with different people. If it was verbatim what he said to AD, he's on a different level than we've seen from anybody.
I'm actually proud of myself that I'm finally starting to see shit men from the beginning.
So you're
Not
you're,
to make it about me.
you have arrived. You're thinking.
I think he is just. I don't think he's an Uche. I don't think he's a what's the guy who does coke and got skinny, who is an influencer that I liked. With
Izzy.
the earring, Izzy. I don't think he's any of that. I think he is the definition of hurt people.
Right. Question though. Remember, we have to be able to root for these people.
No, we do not. Because we had an entire season of Love is Blind where you went off on every episode that I can't root for anyone on this show.
However, I think it was intentional that I should be able to root for them. I felt like I was being convinced.
I do, but I'm just saying, I think you've talked about like Adam DeVello and how he edits and stuff like that and similarities in this show. I think maybe after last season of where the kind of the fourth wall was opened a little bit.
They're leaning in and choosing evil.
Maybe all bets are off for Love is Blind. Maybe we don't know what edit we're going to get.
No, that is true.
I hope I'm wrong.
Here's
I don't want that.
Here's why I'm saying things will turn. He's definitely going to go to the end. There's no way he would be featured so much if he wasn't going to the end.
But maybe he'll end up being. I don't who.
There's no one else.
I'm gonna be.
He said there's no one else.
But what if he ends up leaving with Amber?
We don't know who Amber is.
So many questions.
And remember, y'all, we have at least 2 episodes, maybe 3 in the pods, and they still have to get married and get engaged. So I think AD and it's AD and Matthew.
You do.
Mm-hmm. I think she's going to get past it. She's not going to choose Clay.
I hope she doesn't.
I think she'd do better with Matthew than she'd do with Clay, sadly.
In a way, yes. In a way, no. I feel like with Clay, you know what you're going to get at least.
He'd pay it. No, here's the thing.
You're going to get a player. He'll cheat on you. But
what
are you going to get with Matthew?
You don't know. But that's
you
the
don't
thing.
know.
The unknown. But she knows what she's going to get with Clay. He'll cheat on her as soon as they're out of the pods.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Sorry, I was going to
He's probably going to try to, like, fuck another girl at the party when they meet them.
I think I actually didn't watch the first of the season where they kind of do like a this season on.
I didn't either.
I skipped that. But I was kind of like hitting the 10-second button. And it did say like a woman yelling, saying, "Come on, you fucked her."
Yep.
So that's why I think we're going to get more of this kind of intermural. I can't think of another word. But this love triangle shit.
Incestuous.
I think it's going to happen more.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't like that part, but I think it is. Which leads me to believe and I'm going to say this, nobody from Netflix listens to this show, but if you do, if we're going to get into the interconnectedness, incestuous part of the show, then make a queer Love is Blind.
That's true.
Then make a gay male or all women. You did Queer Love, but make a gay male Love is Blind.
Oh God, that'd be so messy.
It would be, but if you're going to do this, then let's just get in the pig shit and wallow it around.
Yo, fags would drill a hole through the wall and make a glory hole.
Would you be on a gay Love is Blind?
Hell yes.
I would too in a second.
I would go in there just to stir up shit.
Oh, I'd go in there to fall in love.
Yeah, that's how we're fundamentally different.
That's the show.
I'd go in there just to fuck shit up.
I'd finally find a hot guy who's in love with me for my just average appearance.
Ooh, and then I'd steal him. Because I could.
Wow. I think they should.
And
they could have tops.
At your wedding, I will stand up and say, I fucked the groom. I fucked him.
They should have. I'm fine with this. Probably a bunch of gay people will be upset about it. But have a house of tops and a house of bottoms.
It's not that simple, though.
It's not. Just have a group. I'm just saying the fact that we haven't done it is stupid.
Mm-hmm. I honestly don't think a lot of America's ready for it. Yeah. Even though Drag Race is so popular.
Maybe we need it. Maybe we'll produce it. Produced by reality gays.
We need a production company name.
Yeah, we do.
Let's end this. I'm
Y'all,
tired.
That's it. Poodle's tired. I'm a little buzzed on a martini. All right, we'll see you next time in episode 2. Now, look, if you're listening to this, if you're one of those cheap motherfuckers and you wanted to listen to this for free and you're like, but I want more, you gotta pay for it.
You gotta pay the piper.
You gotta pay the piper at our $5 tier. It's like a cup of coffee. Come on. It really is at this point.
1 cup.
Not even a latte, just a black cup of coffee.
End this.
Go to Reality Gaze. You can get that at the $5 tier. You can do that through Supercast. You can do it through Patreon. Or if you subscribe to Apple Podcasts, it's our $8 tier, and you get our public shows you get all those commercial free. But you would get the Love is Blind tier as well from that. So you can go to realitygaze.com for all that information. Until then, y'all, we're going to leave you with this existential question that you're going to be asking all February long. And what is that, Poodle?
What's your father think about all this?
He's dead. He wouldn't have an opinion.
Literally. No, you asked, is love blind? Love is blind.